From your BattleNet app, when you select any of the World of Warcrafts, go to game version here and go to select WoW Classic Era PTR. Install it, play it. You don't even need an active subscription, and you'll be able to get a taste of what it's like to play on the World of Warcraft Classic Era Hardcore servers, slated to be released sometime late summer. Now to quickly get into what it's about. Death on hardcore realms are permanent. PvP battles are opt-in. PvP battlegrounds and battle masters are disabled. Most creatures will leash when leaving the area or zone. Below level 60, all dungeons will have a 24-hour timer. There's a new feature, Duel to the Death. Gameplay zone disruption and malicious player killing outside of consensual PvP will not be tolerated on hardcore realms. This is the official overall rule set for the hardcore servers. You can read all this if you want. IGN's got an article that kind of summarizes a little bit, so I guess I'll read that. If you die in a hardcore realm, you won't be able to return to your body and resurrect, nor can you be resurrected by any spell or ability. You'll continue to exist in the game world as a ghost, letting you speak with in-game friends or resolve guild leadership should you be a guild master. However, after dying on a hardcore realm, players will be able to choose to utilize the free character move service and move their dead carcass character to a non-hardcore Care Bear Classic Era realm. Once the move is complete to the non-hardcore realm, that character may resurrect as normal, but the way back to a hardcore realm will be close to them on that character. PvP flagging will no longer be automatically flagged for PvP upon attacking another player. To flag yourself for PvP, you must actually type the command /PvP. This has been added to prevent accidental situations where an aggressive action is taken against a player flagged for PvP unwittingly flagging themselves. It's important to note that attacking an enemy faction NPC will still flag you even if you haven't typed /PvP, so stay clear of settlements of the opposing faction. PvP battlegrounds are completely disabled, as are all PvP battle masters, but you still may enter pre-made war games. But you may not gain honor or PvP reputations from war games. And I heard, but don't quote me on this, supposedly if you die in the war games, that's the end. But I'm not too sure about that one, okay? PvP and quest updates. Various quests and objectives that cause players to become PvP flagged, such as the quest to attack and the missing diplomat, no longer cause players to become flagged for PvP. Various quests and objectives that require the player to die to complete or initiate the quest or objective may now be completed without a player's demise. Alongside this, many quests that require escorting NPC targets have been adjusted in a way that most escort-related NPCs may no longer be attacked by players of the opposing faction. What's going to be interesting, and I remember this off the top of my head because I've got almost, 80,000 plus hours into the game here, is when you're Horde and you're in Hillsbrad Foothills and you're making your way to South Shore, Hercules' Rod, something about his rod. And you got to go to that cemetery. That was one of the most difficult quests ever because you'd have the South Shore. It helps if I could speak. The South Shore guards kicking your ass. I don't know how that specific quest is going to work because it says to stay clear of opposing enemy faction towns and stuff. Creature aggro. Most creatures will leash and reset when leaving the zone that they were engaged in. The total range that monsters can be pulled is currently fairly large, but can be easily adjusted by Blizzard depending on the feedback on the PTR. It also notes that hunters will not be able to kite and troll people like I used to do back in the day, bringing them into Orgrimmar. Those dudes in Ashenville at the northeast. Yeah, that's right. Dungeon clock. All dungeons will have a 24-hour lockout counter for players under 60. This is to prevent players from spending all their time in dungeons leveling up and skipping core aspects of the experience. By extension, this change also means that level 60 players may never enter lower level dungeons with players below their level 60 for any reason. So you could do each dungeon once per 24-hour period. Buff debuff limits. The 16 debuff limit and 32 buff limits have been removed on hardcore realms. Hearthstone restrictions. Paladins can't do the bubble hearth. Okay? For obvious reasons. You can duel to the death. I mean, it doesn't even need an explanation. Duel to the death. And then when you get a bunch of string of ears, you get these trophies. Now that, to me, is pretty cool, and I will not be partaking into that shit. Due to the permanent element of hardcore, this is named aptly, as only one player will be walking away, apparently with their ear. All content phases available. Hardcore Realms will have all the original WoW content phases unlocked and available right at launch. Playing nice. So this is interesting because you used to be able to do this stuff on any other version of WoW, but not this one. Gameplay, zone disruption, malicious player killing outside of consensual PvP will not be tolerated on Hardcore Realms. I'll expand what I meant by that in a moment. This includes any deliberate action to hamper or significantly impede the ability of other players to enjoy the game, such as not but limited to repeatedly killing quest NPCs. You're allowed to do that, generally speaking. If they didn't want you to kill the quest NPC, then don't have them be killable. Or kiting important quest mobs far away from their spawn location to prevent them from being killed. This also includes taking actions to deliberately cause the death of another player, such as, but not limited to, kiting higher level elite mobs onto, or doing like a big group pull or something like that, and then just like vanishing, and then they all aggro that player. So they take damage and die, or deliberately causing a wipe in a raid or dungeon group. If a player has been found to do any of the above on a malicious level, Blizzard will take immediate action against that player, including but not limited to permanent account closure. So, permanent account closure. That's huge. They don't want you fucking around. They don't want you to be a dick. A dingleberry. Okay? They want you to know your role, know your place, and play the game. Because the game itself is going to be kicking your ass. We don't need all these shit trolls coming about and making it even more difficult for you. But generally speaking, all this kind of stuff you're allowed to do, no problem. So, there you go. Anyways, as always, like I said, if you want to read the full details, you go ahead and do so right here. This is the official Blizzard website. So yeah, I'm excited for it. I don't know how serious I'm going to get with it because it's hardcore and all that kind of stuff. It adds a little bit of extra adrenaline rush. So I might be able to get 50 views a video instead of, let's say, 10 or 15 kind of thing when playing World of Warcraft. Maybe. I'll have to see. As always, if you like the video, thumbs up. It does greatly help, the algorithm with the channel and making me more relevant in the search results. You didn't like it, go ahead, give it a thumbs down, and I'll make sure your life is hardcore. You only get to die... Never mind, you only get to die once anyways in real life. Alright, forget that. That didn't work. If you want to subscribe to the channel, naturally that would be great. But if not, whatever. Thanks for stopping by anyways, take care, and maybe I'll see some of you in the next one. Bye for now.